Seems that it was, okay.
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 Yeah, fine.
Pursuant to the Open Public Meetings Act, notice of this meeting was given in the annual meeting notice, which was submitted to the Berkeley Record and Herald News, emailed to the office of the county clerk, and posted on PCCC website and bulletin boards on November 21st, 2024.
And. Come on. All right, raise your right hand, repeat after me. I, Ken P. Sumter, solemnly swear that I will uphold the Constitution of the United States
I will uphold the Constitution of the United States
and the Constitution of the State of New Jersey,
and the Constitution of the State of New Jersey,
that I will bear true faith and allegiance to the same
and that I will bear true faith and allegiance to the same
and to the governments
and to the governments
established in the United States and in this state
established in the United States and in this state,
under the authority of the people,
under the authority of the people,
that I will faithfully,
that I will faithfully,
impartially,
impartially,
and justly perform
and justly perform
all of the duties
all of the duties
of the office of trustee of Passaic County Community College
of the office of trustee of Passaic County Community College
according to the best of my ability,
according to the best of my ability.
so help me God.
So help me God.
Congratulations, Fred.
Thank you.
Thanks, Ted. Appreciate
Do
it.
you want to say something?
Glad to be back. In the words of ancestors, happy, glad to be back home.
Okay, roll call.
Alumni Rep Buchanan. Here. Trustee Oscar. Trustee Drakeford. Trustee Glovin.
Present.
Trustee Diodene.
Present.
Trustee Moody. Trustee Poe. Present. Trustee Ramirez.
Present.
Trustee Smith. Trustee Smith.
Present.
Trustee Sumter.
Present.
Vice Chair Tanis. Present. Chairman Marco.
Yes. Okay. First order of business is the consideration of the minutes of the December 17th, 2024 Board of Trustee meetings. Are there any corrections to the minutes? Hearing none, may I have a motion on resolution number 1?
I'll move it.
17th, 2024 meeting. Thank you, Michael.
You're welcome.
Second?
Second.
Second.
Trustee Glovin.
Yes.
Trustee Diodene.
Yes.
Trustee Poe. Yes. Trustee Ramirez.
Yes.
Trustee Smith.
Yes.
Trustee Sumter.
Abstain.
Vice Chair Tanis. Yes. Chairman Marco.
Yes. Okay. One.
Budget.
Budget.
All right, so Stephen Hardy is home with his wife. She had some medical issues, so he's taking care of her. So I am presenting the budget tonight, and we have Michelle Baldino here, who's our budget manager, director of budget, whatever your title is. But what basically what we do is we lock Michelle in a room for, I don't know, 3-4 months. It's a conference room right next to Mike's office.
Every day.
Right next to Mike's office, and people just come and go into that room, Jackie especially. No, seriously, we go through an extensive process each year when we put this budget together. I'm not saying it's a zero-based budget process, but we go over every single budget. Everybody gets a chance to talk about what their needs are. Now, as you folks know, there is no additional money. I mean, so I'll just to make the presentation complete, I think you all understand. Last year, you remember that the state actually, the governor proposed cutting us by $20 million. Fortunately, at the end, the legislature restored the $20 million, but it still was a 0% increase at the end, and we had to fight to get 0%. We're incredibly fortunate that the county continues to support us well. And the county is, but we received the 2% increase from the county last year, and that's great. Well, we're happy with that. The other component of our budget is tuition. We do our best to keep tuition as low as we possibly can. But in these days, if you're around the inflation rate, you're probably okay in terms of what we're doing. And it's, I think, as you all know, we're doing a good job raising money through our foundation. So when students need money, we're able to do it. And, the new programs like the Community College Opportunity Grants and everything. So you can get a partial community college opportunity grant if your family income is $100,000 or less. That includes a lot of our students can get something. So fortunately, when we do raise tuition, we do insulate most of our students from that. But that's where we're starting. We know kind of what our budget's going to be. At least the county will come through with their 2%. We'll do our tuition in June when things get a little clearer. The governor has not even proposed his budget yet. You'll see in here, but we've been warned. In the strongest terms I think we've ever been warned. Don't expect anything this year. We will consider ourselves lucky if we end up with 0% out of the state. We just want to avoid getting cut. So in putting this budget together, Stephen and Michelle had quite a task of, looking for any ways that we can, save some money. Now you were all part of putting the ESIP, the Energy Savings Improvement Plan, together. Well, that has factored in, and we've been able to cut some money out of this budget in order to do that. And every department has looked for ways that they can save some money in terms of doing this. There's wild cards every year. We do not know what the health insurance from the state is going to be. This year, this January, we got hit with about $720,000 extra. Now we budgeted because we knew it could be, but it was at the high end of what we thought it was going to be. So the budget that we're presenting to you tonight is basically, for the most part, most things, there are no new positions in it. We switched a few around, so, if Jackie wanted to take this position and instead, if it was vacant, use it for something else, we're doing things like that. So every time there's a vacant position at the college, and we've been doing this for 10 years now, if there's a vacant position, we reevaluate it and see, okay, what is the most important, if we can afford to hire for it, what is the most important position that we're going to hire at this time. So if you take a look at the budget, we're going from $58,528,923. It's increased by about $900,000 over last year. Not a lot, or about 1.44%. We had to do that in order to fit in, and we will present to you some. You see, we have some friends here tonight who we've negotiated our labor contracts with. Well, a big part of our conversation during negotiating was telling them, look, we really can't afford any raise for you, but you deserve a raise. And it was that kind of thing, and you can see that the whole budget is going up 1.44%, because that's about what we can afford. So in order to give a raise, as I had said when we were negotiating, we had to cut something else in order to do it, and that's what we've done. So we feel good about the budget. We can make this work for us. And in terms of the operating budget, happy to answer any questions about it, but also just talk about the other two budgets that we have in here, which are the Chapter 12 budget, which is that the funds that our Chapter 12 program is the one where the state and the county share the cost of the debt service on it. And you can see we're asking for about $4.5 million here. We probably will not get $4.5 million. The state has not told us exactly what is available this year. It's probably gonna be more like 3.7 million or something like that, but what we do is when we go to the Board of School estimate, we say that it is a number not to exceed this number. So in case there's any money available at the end, we're able to get it. But you can see the projects we're doing are partially the energy savings project, again, some general classroom renovations. Again, the biggest item here is academic and Founders Hall air handler. Any of us who work in academic and Founders Hall, we're either freezing one day and we're so hot the next day that we can't function. Anyone who is working there can tell you that. So we're trying to improve that situation. That's what happens in 100-year-old buildings. But it's getting better, and we're trying to fix it and see what we can do there. So you see roof replacement for Hamilton Hall and a couple of things like that. The other budget we have is the County of Passaic capital budget, where the county issues a bond to fund certain things in here. This budget started, you'll see that it's about 2.5 million. We had almost $5 million in requests from the departments when they did it, and Michelle will tell you that we go through a long process of everybody coming in and making their case as to what they need, and we know that this is about 2.5 million is about the amount that the county feels comfortable doing on a yearly basis. So we've got to set our priorities. You know, what are the priorities for next year? Certain things we're not going to be able to do, and we'll have to put them off for another year, but we come up with the most important things that we can. So that is basically the budget. We had an executive committee meeting the other day, and we went through with Barbara and Joelle in great detail, what was in here, and Stephen Hardy was able to be at that meeting, and so we went through the details, and I'm happy to answer any questions about this budget that you may have.
Operation budget, and there was area cuts. Can you just mention some of those areas?
And energy savings was one of them. So we've done, we are going to, you've missed this part in the past year or two. We were very fortunate. We've come up with almost 20 million, I guess.
In fund, yes, $20 million project.
In project that we are doing, every single light bulb in the college has been changed.
Yes.
We're putting up solar on all 4 campuses. And as a matter of fact, if you go up to the Public Safety Academy in Wanacue right now, there are tractor trailers full of solar panels sitting in the parking lots getting ready to be installed. That's going to save us alone, when all done, about $500,000-$600,000 a year in energy. So those that, that's where we try to find things. Brad is always looking for ways to, he spends money, but he also saves money. It's you kind of come up with the technology and but everything is, what has really helped. So you will see so we are, again, for your information, for the first time since 1986, we're changing our computer system here at the college. So we're putting in a brand new system. What that has been able to do, you will see that certain on the capital budget, because this is a capital project, some salaries of people working on this project, a portion of their salary is being able to be charged off to the capital budget. So that's a way of saving some of the money. Now, as you can see, which is the other part I should have brought up, and that's why Stephen usually does this, not me. We do use some of our fund balance. We can't balance this budget alone. Since COVID, we need to use some of our reserves in order to balance budget. You'll see that this year there's 1.86 million that is coming from the fund balance. The good news is that it's less than we used last year. The fund balance, we're $665,000 less than we budgeted last year. Now, even though we budgeted a larger amount, we didn't use it all because we tried to save money throughout the year. So we only ended up using about 800,000 in our reserves, but we want to get to a point where we're using nothing. from our reserves. The good news is, and again, for your purpose, the rest of the board has heard this, during COVID, we were able to save up a lot of money and put money away because we know now you can't get by without having a big rating day fund, and we've been able to put together more money in order to do that, but it seems like it's never enough these days. So that is the budget. Happy to answer any questions about it.
Could I ask a quick question, Dr. Rose?
Of course.
I noticed there wasn't a lot of money in the budget for the environmental center. Does that mean that's been, everything is done on that and most of the stuff has been purchased already? I was just curious
Everything is
about
paid for on it, yes. Everything is either budgeted in terms of the construction and the initial startup, that's all budgeted.
All right, because there wasn't a lot in there, so I would figure that meant we're almost at the very end, yes?
Yeah, we got an update today. It should be finished by the end of February, we were told, right? Or
What they told Brad he could get in there in March.
March, okay, well,
So end of March.
I might be back before it's ready, I get it.
yeah, it might.
Not impossible.
Well, the county commissioners have scheduled their April meeting there at the new site. They didn't ask us before they did that, but we said, it's okay. They checked with our construction manager and they said it should be done by then. And I said, we'll bring up some folding tables and do whatever we gotta do in order to, because we definitely want to host that meeting there, so. Yeah, well, whatever it takes, but we'll get it done. Michelle, anything to add? She's here to answer any questions that you might have had about any individual item. She's ready. She's got it memorized.
On board.
Okay. Well, I just set it up for you. For years, we've been, talking about finding a more efficient way of giving you all this stuff for the board meetings. So one of Stephanie's goals when she first started was to find a better way of doing this, and she has found it, and we're going to let her talk about it.
Thank you, Dr. Rose. So I am very excited to be introducing you to Onboard. As Dr. Rose mentioned, so I've been at PCCC about over a year, and I spent like a lot of time in my first 5 to 6 months doing a bunch of demos and reading about different portals and everything. So I'm excited to say we've come to a decision, and we're going to do a demo in a few minutes so you can all look at the product. But some of the general benefits of online portals. So all the meeting dates, all event dates will be listed in one spot. So when you log in, there'll be a landing page with all of that information. So you don't have to keep looking at your calendar. As you know, this year, especially, we have a couple meetings where it's not the third Tuesday as it usually is. All your packets will be in one place, current and previous committee meetings. So those of you that are serving on committees, thank you. But as you know, there's only 2 or 3 probably the whole year. So at least you don't have to go back and look for my name and emails to read your minutes from the meeting before. And then non-meeting documents. So that could be like, for example, the board policy manual will be saved in there. Ease of use and ability for real-time information. So I was mentioning to Chairman Marco, if there's a last minute addition to the agenda or something taken away, what you see is going to be the final product. So I'm not going to be emailing you, telling you to add this, telling you to strike anything. It's what you're looking at is going to be the real-time product. Access on multiple devices. So your phone, computer, iPad. As I mentioned, there'll be laptops set up. So you don't have to bring anything back and forth unless you're, really want to use your own. It'll be set up at your spot for you. So you'll be able to access everything. And then unlimited storage and retention. Something else I just want to mention that was in my email from earlier this month If you do not want to use this, you do not have to. I'm happy to still email you and send you have a printed copy here. This is, totally optional. We want to do what's best, works best for you all. So you just let me know. We just want to show you the options. So as I mentioned, I did several demos, and after doing onboards, from there I did a free trial with them. After that, I reached out to IT, so Chris and Brad were involved. So I got their input to review everything, and then with their support and of course Dr. Rose's, here we are. So Onboard has 6,000 boards that they work with and 600 higher ed customers. So we are definitely going to be in good company. And then the second photo on the right, that's right from their website. So the fact that they stress security and simplicity, which I think are two really good things in the tech world these days. So they lead with that, which is great. So in terms of the timeline, so we don't have a February meeting. So in either late February or early March, you'll get an email with your login information so you can access the portal. Then for March, we will do both. So we're transitioning. This is not going to be like, everything is going away in one shot. So we'll still have printed packets, but you'll have the laptop too. And I'll email you, or you can look at it in the portal, whichever your preference is for that meeting. And then in April, I'll probably poll you and ask, if you're ready, you feel comfortable doing it, or if you tell me, Stephanie, this is not for me, I still want the printed, that's okay too. So that's just a little teaser. Are there any questions before you see the product? We're gonna give Mika, are you there?
Yes, can you all hear me okay?
So Mika Moore is our partner at Onboard, who's been helping me get everything set up. So this month's meeting is loaded into the system, and I built it. So she's going to show you part of that as well as just some basic features.
Perfect, wonderful. I went ahead and selected the screen share view. Are you able to see my Onboard sign-in page?
Yes.
Yes.
Wonderful.
Not yet. There we go.
There we go.
Perfect. All right, wonderful. Well, I'm happy to get started here. Thank you all for allowing me some time to jump in and demo the platform. And Stephanie, thank you for the introduction as well. So on this current sign-in page that you see, this is the website that you can bookmark or that you will go to once you receive your credentials. I also want to mention on this page that you do we do offer a free mobile app as well. So you could utilize your own personal device like a smartphone or tablet as well. So you will just sign in with your credentials here, select continue, and then it does, before you jump right into the platform, there is an option to recover your password if you ever forget. So just wanted to point that out on the main page here. And now I will go ahead and share what your actual platform will look like once you all get signed in. So I don't know if I jinxed the system here by sharing a new screen. All right, can you all see that?
Yep.
Wonderful.
Yes.
Perfect, thank you. So when you are signed into your platform, your onboard portal, this is the page that you will land on. This is your home screen. So you can see at the top of the page, you have any meetings that are upcoming, in progress, beginning for that day. Then as you scroll through the homepage here, you will see your information, the mission and vision statement, any announcements. Of course, here initially, it's a lot of welcome to Onboard and kind of the introduction of that, but this will be populated as time goes on as well. Then there are the future upcoming meetings that Stephanie was mentioning as well, that's here at the bottom of the page. And then lastly, we have some penned resources just for some additional support. So a lot of information kind of jam-packed here into the homepage, but it's essentially just an overview of everything that's going on within your organization. So next I will show the meetings tab here on the left side of the screen. The meetings tab provides that overview of all meetings that have been posted in your platform. It's important to note here, I'll scroll through this page. It's important to note that this is all completely permission-based, so you will only see the meetings, whether it be the board meeting or different committee meetings that you're invited to. So I just wanted to mention that as well. You can also scroll through and see any meetings that took place in the past, so you will always have access to your meeting materials on this meetings page, this overview, kind of calendar view of meetings. For an example today, I'll go ahead and select this January 21st board meeting. So I'll click right into this meeting here. And then at the top of the page are some details related specifically to this meeting. So the date, time, and location, of course, the joining remote option, whenever, there's the hybrid or fully remote or any option there, you can join. And then that will take you right to your Zoom meeting or Teams meeting. Below that, we have all of the invitees who have been invited to the meeting. Then below that, we have our open book section, which I'll demo here in just a moment. And then the RSVP to meeting function as well. You are able to RSVP to your meeting directly from Onboard. You can also RSVP from your email that you'll get about the meeting as well.
There's two things to add here. One, so she mentioned the virtual, so I'm gonna put the Zoom link in there, so you won't have to remember it, have two screens. If that's how you're joining, you'll be able to just click that and make it easier for you. And then it would be great if we can, if folks are able to start RSVPing, at least to get an idea, and then we know that we're having a forum or like who we should be looking for that's joining online, just so we're not looking for you to come in the door if we know, you're definitely not coming, you're joining us virtually, just so we can get an idea.
Perfect. Then as I scroll down here, the last piece of this page that you'll be able to interact with or preview is your agenda. This goes to list all of your different agenda sections. And then, oh, go ahead. Sorry. Any questions? Can't tell if there is a question or if there's just some feedback there.
Well, I have a question. I don't know if somebody else is talking. This is Keisha Drakeford. Hello?
Oh, Keisha, we hear you.
Oh, hi. I have a question. She said that you can be invited to meetings, so you can respond to meetings and other things, but would we get notations or notes or some kind of notice that we've been invited to meetings or there is a special committee meeting? Because that was what actually popped in my mind about committee meetings or something like that. I know Stephanie always invites us, but like as far as being on this now new platform on board, would we get something from there that would send us an email or some type of notice that we've now been invited to a committee meeting or a special meeting or something like that, or we got a new update on board? I'm in another board platform, and I know every time they send something new, like every 5 minutes, it's a new, like you got a new update, the board has been revised, the board has been updated. So would we get something like that or an email or something like that if somebody invites us to a committee meeting? Or
yes, I'll send all those notifications. And like as Mika said, it's permission based, so you'll get the operations trustee Drakeford, but Vice Chair Tanis won't get that because she's not on that. So same thing for you, Trustee Poe. When you log in, you'll see that on your page, but others won't. So
I would hope that like the minutes of those meetings, everybody would get.
we
The
can.
whole
Right.
board.
Oh, we have to log in to get it, right? Like, so if you happen to,
Well, you could get an email notification. The detail would be when you log in.
And they'll get something saying that you have a
Correct.
meeting coming up.
Correct.
Do you have new information?
I mean,
on the
I got
portal?
one just for this on yesterday, like your meeting's coming, and I set it up, but I still got it yesterday saying your meeting's coming up.
Right.
And then when I clicked on it, it said like you've only read 4% of the packet. And
you get that much information, Stephanie, that's a lot. We only have 4% of the
Hit
package.
that scroll button. Okay.
So will I get a notification every time you add content to the
No,
portal?
not until I publish it. So I don't want
Okay.
you to get a million notifications and be, now if on Fridays, usually around between 11 and 12, I'm sending you the packet so you can look at it over the weekend. Now, if I added something on Monday, you would say like, then you would see that something, now, if you never logged in, you wouldn't know the difference, right? But if you read it on Saturday and then you get a notice on a new agenda item's been added, you'd get another notification. But I'm not gonna bombard you as I'm building it.
Great, thank you.
You're welcome.
Perfect. All right, so at the bottom of the page, as you could see, you have your agenda with all of the attached documents. So you could jump in and click on these individual documents one by one. However, there's another way to view the book as well, where you can see all of the documents and all of the sections side by side, and that's our open book feature here. So when you view the open book, I've got a little notice here kind of alluding to what Stephanie was saying with you'll always have the most, update version of the book possible. So, or the most updated version of your packet. So I know that, I've gotten, a document has been uploaded. So this has been updated since I last viewed it. So I can just dismiss that notification. So on the left side of the page, you'll see this is the exact same agenda that we were viewing on the previous meeting details page. You're able to click this expand all button up here in the corner to view the individual documents that are attached to every single section. So you'll notice here, when I first open the book, I am met with this table of contents that gives me an overview of all of my documents, all of my sections. There are a few different ways you can interact with your materials. You can scroll through, or you can click forward at the bottom of the page to view your different documents, or you can scroll through the agenda here on the left side of the page and click onto any of your documents as well. So for example, I can see this section here, presentations. When I click on it, nothing really happens there because there are no associated documents with it. But right below that, the proposed budget, I could click on any of these documents and it would take me right to it on the right side of the page. So it's a little more efficient to kind of interact with your documents that way. Or of course, you could just scroll through and kind of follow along in time. You can see on the left, my agenda will jump forward to be on the correct document section. So this is the view that you have here on your open book page. We do also have a note-taking feature at the top of the screen. You are able to take different annotations that are private to yourself. So underlining, highlighting, that kind of thing. These are all available at the top of your book, at the top of the screen here. So just like to mention that those features are available. You are the only one who will see your notes. So if you underline or highlight something, it's not going to be shared with the entire board. It's just for your view only, but you do have the availability to share out those notes if you're interested in doing so. So I'll pause there for any questions, or Stephanie, anything if you wanted to add with the open book feature.
If you could just scroll down to the personnel items, I just want to share one thing. So similar, so permissions, right? So the vice president, you're all going to have access to this as well. So that'll be permissions features as well. Right now, we print the HR packet, and the trustees have access to that. So, if Dr. Kanivi's looking, she's going to see all this as well. But when she goes to click on personnel, nothing will be there. So everybody is seeing the same information in that way. Again, updates, everyone's seeing the same information.
All right, the next piece that I would like to demonstrate here is your resources tab, which is right under your meetings tab in the far left navigation bar. When you select resources, this brings up your entire resource library. So all of the different examples we have listed here, different committee folders, board policy manual, a file specifically for board members. And I know, Stephanie, you wanted to mention a few items listed here as well.
Yeah, so again, similar with the permission, so if all the trustees, want the minutes for all the committee meetings, that's absolutely fine, and you'll just click on the different folders and you'll see that in there, so you won't see on your landing page that the meeting is happening on X date, but if you ever, or I can always tell you if you are interested, but all of that information will be archived there, because like I said, with only meeting a couple times a year, that way you don't have to go back in emails and look what was discussed at the last meeting.
We also do have a search feature at the very top of the page. So if there's a specific folder title or document title that you're looking for, you can do a quick search to find that quickly. If you're not sure, maybe you know exactly what specific folder it would be in. So I always like to use the word minutes for an example. So of course, it'll pull up this minutes folder. It does not, this search bar at the top will not search the body of the document, just the title of what you're looking for. So kind of a quick shortcut there to view with the search at the top. Then one of the last things I wanted to demonstrate here was your profile, how you're able to edit and view your profile and other members in the platform. So first you can click your name or initials once you get those credentials in the bottom left corner. This menu will populate and you can select profile. Once this page loads, this is where you're able to edit or view or add any of your information. You can see here on the right side, anywhere it says edit details, you're able to do that. So if you want to share previous board experience, your contact info, biography, so on, that's all included here. At the bottom of your profile, it will automatically list all of the committees that you are serving on. You don't have to do anything there or edit that information. That's automatically populated based on what committee or what group you've been added to within the platform. And when you click directory over here, this is where, of course, right now it's just Stephanie and myself that are in the platform, but as everyone gets added, you're able to see everyone else's information, their name, email as well on this page. And then the last thing I like to point out here is our help and feedback tab. Should you ever have any questions or want additional support, maybe are curious about some more specific features, you can select our help and feedback, and this guide center will take you to our help center, to the in-app tutorial that will kind of guide you through what I did today. Those are available for you 24/7 as well.
Could I ask a quick question that I'm curious about?
Absolutely.
How does the system handle items that are discussed in executive session?
So for when those are created, when those different items are added to meetings, you are able to edit the permissions of who's able to view and access those particular items in those individual sections. Same with the resource folders or wherever those would be stored, all permission-based, all invitation-based.
Concerning, during the regular meetings, our meetings are recorded. Will that be added until the feature?
So they're gonna continue to be available after. We haven't gotten to like integration in that respect so far, but even just like for now, phase one is just putting the Zoom link in there, so I don't have to email it to you guys separately, that you're just clicking a link. But it's not that feature, that part of the meetings here isn't gonna go away. We just haven't.
But the recorded meetings are available on YouTube.
Yes.
And it'll be on the website.
They're actually being broadcast live. So currently we are live on YouTube. After the meeting is over, it is then able to be replayed at any point from the college YouTube channel.
Anything else?
Very good.
Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, somebody.
Thank you, Mika.
Sorry.
You should have got a question or a thought.
All right, everybody's good with that?
Yeah, all right.
Should be a good improvement, and again, we're gonna give you time to adjust to it. If you wanna do it the old fashioned way, we'll continue to do it the old fashioned way, but whatever works for you, we will do. All right, instructional item, the new career certificate in solar technology, Jackie, you wanna?
Okay, so I want to start by telling you where this idea came. It came from our grants office, where we applied for a Northern New Jersey post-pandemic workforce training initiative, which prepares local residents in New Jersey for energy careers in renewable energy and solar technology. It was offered by the United States Department of Labor, Employment and Training Administration, and it was for $1.95 million. So we were able to get that. And so, and I'm going to get to the certificate in a minute, but I want to also tell you that part of this grant allowed us to run a basic solar technology program in the non-credit side of the house. It was 14 weeks long, and students came in, and we also had great participation from employers, so that students could get a job, an entry-level job, after taking that 14-week course. However, part of the grant also called for the establishment of a career certificate, which was for college credit, 30 college credits, which we're calling our career technology certificate. It is designed to equip students with essential and hands-on skills necessary to launch a successful career. And we have 6 credits in general ed and 24 credits in solar, which involves definitely safety issues, maintaining, installing, and repairing solar energy systems. It also includes lab work and also experience in the field. So that would be for 30 credits. And then in the end, the students are able to take some very interesting recognized certifications, such as the North American Board of Certified Energy Practitioners, the PV Installation Professional Certificate, and many others, which would actually enhance their job opportunities. So they may come in as non-credit, they could get a job, but if they want to advance, they could get a better job. And so I think what we're looking here at is what I call multiple exit option. So if a student wants to go to the non-credit, they can exit there. If they want to go on to the 30 credit, they can then exit there, and they can actually go on for a baccalaureate degree. We are going to have an articulation agreement with NJIT, who's been our partner in this. And then, so I think we've had good participation in the non-credit side, and I think it's definitely something that we want to get into, and we look forward to accepting students in the career certificate. We don't expect every student that we have in the non-credit program to enroll in this certificate, but some will, and they'll be able then to graduate from the certificate. They may not want to go on after that, but they could if they wanted to go on to NJIT. And last but not least, about 2 meetings ago, you heard Maria Marti talk about credit for prior learning. So we are giving 3 credits, for the non-credit program that they took in 14 weeks. We're giving 3 credits to them as credit for prior learning into this certificate program. So they're starting with a little bit of credit. So I would like your approval. Thank you.
Any questions?
Yeah, how long is this grant for, Jackie? How long is it?
It's another year,
Year.
and it'll expire.
6 months.
So then we're gonna pick up the cost afterwards, is that correct? Or employers are, or how's that gonna work? For the course?
Yeah, well, part of the grant was money to develop the program. The first part we've been giving to students for free. This we will probably be charging tuition for, so that wasn't part of the grant.
Okay.
Required in the grant. But
Yeah.
not finance. Right.
I have a question.
What are the requirements for students to join the program?
They would have to, they would have to be accepted into the college. Credits.
Okay, for that particular, or
They
say,
would be, yes, because
Oh.
right now they're on the non-credit, they're students in the non-credit side, they have to have credits, students on the credit side, yeah.
so what if students say, you know, they have a major like nursing and they want to do that? But nursing is hard. so-
That would be
I would
switched, but we would,
It's different.
we would accept their comp one into this program.
But
I
what
don't
if they
think
wanna
they
do, but what if they wanna do it dual, like they have, you know, bring something and do that, can they?
They
Like
want-
if they have a major, I'm public health, and what
Oh,
if they
change
wanna?
the major?
Yeah,
Absolutely.
oh, transfer, you said transfer major?
Well, they can, they can change, if they have them, if they're currently enrolled here and they say, oh, I want to go into the solar tech program, they can change their major and come into the solar tech.
Okay.
Right. Mike, you wanna talk about our agreements with?
Sure,
PCCS?
so there are two agreements for your approval tonight with the Passaic County Tech. One is for a license agreement. The tech insurance company requires an agreement with the college for their use of the Wanacue campus, part of the Wanacue campus, I should say, for Tech's LPN program. So before you tonight is a license agreement, which allows them to use the space. We're not charging them in classrooms and office space. That second is a lease agreement. This is in connection with automotive building that we are currently finishing completion of, that is on the Tech campus. This came about through a grant that the college got that was supported by Tech with an understanding that the building would be located on their campus. My understanding is Department of Education requires a lease agreement between Tech and the college for the building. And that is what is before you tonight. Both of these have been discussed with council for Tech. My understanding is they're meeting sometime this week, I think Thursday, Wednesday, not sure which.
It's not Wednesday. I know that.
Any questions?
Then, community college is a grant, to build an automotive building.
Already built.
It's already built.
95% complete right there.
It's really an extension of Stephen Jack, an extension of what Tech does for their automotive, next step up. So it's something we're doing in conjunction.
It's a separate facility. We'll be able to run, both dual enrollment programs for students while they're still in high school, but also be able to run adult programs and give our own credential in automotive up there. It's like, for example, one of the things that we probably will be doing is getting into cars with batteries, where that's not something a basic high school auto shop program does. We'll be doing the things that they won't do at a more advanced level. Yep, we have, I don't think there's anything too complicated in there. Happy to answer any questions about anything that is there tonight. Yes, so as happy as we are to have Trustee Sumter back on the Board of Trustees, he is replacing Trustee Nutter, who is I believe the longest serving board member in the history of the college. He came onto the board in 1996. and serves until tonight, on the Board of Trustees, as I think everybody's aware, Harvey has had some health problems in the past and hasn't been able to be active with us, but that does not, mean he wasn't active for many years, and, absolutely his contributions to the college and to the community are legendary. You don't get somebody who's been more impactful. Harvey's dedication to this college, you can't say enough good about it. And I was, last Thursday night, I was at a retirement dinner for another trustee early on in the college, Miguel Della Carrera. Judge Della Carrera retired as a Superior Court judge. And they held a retirement party for him over at the Brownstone. He asked me to speak at his party, and I did. And one of the things I said in public, I said there was, believe it or not, there was a time when there was some real political intrigue in Passaic County, and during that time, the college was affected. Let's just put it that way. And fortunately back then, and my personal thing, we had 3 trustees who really stood up for the college at that point, and Miguel Della Carrera was one of them. Pete Schultes, who some of you knew, who was another guy. He famously got up at a board meeting one day and, basically went to the rest of the board and says, I would not use his salty language that he used that evening, but he said, "What are we doing here?" And he walked out of the meeting after, saying that, we're here to support the college. And it doesn't seem that sometimes the board members were doing that. And the other person who was Harvey Nutter, who always did the right thing for the college. So what is proposed here is that we would honor Harvey by awarding him a trustee emeritus status. That's something that colleges do, and it's an honorary title, but it would mean that we would always invite Harvey if he wants to come to graduation, if he wants to, still be a part of the college, but it means that he will always be listed as a trustee emeritus of the college. So I think, and we will certainly do a plaque with all your names on it that we will present to Harvey and give to him. So I certainly recommend that we do that.
Yeah.
Personnel items, nothing.
You're going to executive session.
We're gonna go to executive session?
Yes.
Okay. Okay, we're gonna go into executive session. May I have a motion on resolution 2 to meet in executive session?
It'll be more than 5 minutes.
Ready? Okay, you got that?
Yep.
Roll call.
Trustee Drakeford,
Yes.
trustee Glover,
Yes.
trustee Diodene,
Yes.
trustee Poe. Yes. Trustee Ramirez. Okay. Trustee Smith,
Yes.
trustee Sumter,
Yes.
vice chair Tanis.
Yes.
Chairman Marco.
Yes. Okay.
And everybody's coming back in right now. Wait, I think it's sure. Just say that.
We all in? Yep.
That's it.
We're all in?
Good.
Okay. Meeting is called to order. The board met in executive session to discuss personnel, contract matters, and matters protected by attorney-client privilege. No action was taken in executive session. I have a roll call.
Trustee Drakeford,
Yes.
trustee Gloven,
Mike, you here?
Yes.
Very good.
trustee Diodene,
Yes.
trustee Poe. Yeah. Trustee Smith,
Yes.
trustee Sumter,
Yes.
vice chair Tanis.
Yes.
Chairman Mark.
Yes. Thank you. Public hearing, Dr. Rhodes.
Yep, we have a notice of the public hearing was submitted to the Bergen Record and Herald News and posted on the PCC website and bulletin boards on January 10th, 2025.
Thank you. Rose. Public hearing will now be held on the proposed FY 2025-2026 budget for the Passaic County Community College. Does anyone wish to be heard? Yeah. Here and now. Okay, no one, we're gonna continue with the agenda, right?
Yep.
Action items, resolution number 3, consent resolution. The action items are a new career certificate for solar technology, proposed FY 2025-2026 budget, license agreement for the PCTVS LPN program, lease agreement with PCTVS for Automotive Technology Center, purchase of goods and services, special recognition for Harvey Nutter, and then personal items.
And in the personnel items are contracts with our faculty association, our support staff association, and our administrators association.
Okay, may I have a motion to adopt resolution number 3, consent resolution items set forth in the memoranda dated January 21st, 2025.
So moved.
Second. Roll.
Trustee Drakeford,
Yes. I have a I abstain from the tech stuff. Michael Cerrone.
Yes, we need a separate vote then on the tech agreement.
And I asked a question, should I abstain? Mike Cerrone?
Yes, you should abstain.
I thought so. Thank you.
Okay.
So
Separate resolutions.
we're gonna do, this vote is gonna be on the consent agenda minus the license agreement and the lease agreement.
Right.
We'll then have a separate, we'll call for a separate motion on the license agreement and lease agreement, separate one.
So let's do the first one.
So-
Moved. Second.
Right, that's already, you already have that. Trish already voted yes on that.
The first one.
trustee Gloven,
Yes.
trustee Diodene,
Yes.
trustee Poe. Trustee Smith,
Yes.
trustee Sumter,
Yes.
vice chair Tanis.
Yes.
Chairman Marco.
Yes. And now we'll have a motion on the 2 lease agreements.
But the license agreement and the lease agreement
Yeah.
with the Passaic County.
The Passaic County Tech. Applications.
I'll move that.
Right, moved by
Second.
Mike, second by Barbara. Okay, roll.
Trustee Drakeford,
I abstain.
trustee Gloven,
Yes.
trustee Diodene,
Yes.
trustee Poe. Trustee Smith,
Yes.
trustee Sumter,
Yes.
vice chair Tanis.
Yes.
Chairman Marco.
Yes. Okay. Are there any remarks from the public?
As the president of the Administrators Association, we would like to thank the board for their generous support, and I'd like to extend a very warm thanks to Dr. Rose and to Jose Fernandez for just being very understanding and coaching negotiations like many other institutions with the idea of problem solving, which is something that we should take pride is here at the college. We are not like any other community college. We are Passaic County's community college.
I wanted to introduce who's with you.
And I want to introduce Patty, my treasurer, and Maritza, who is on the executive board as a member of Lodge.
I guess I get to go next as the president of the Faculty Association. Negotiations, I've been in union negotiations with CWA, and it's unique here in that I give President Rose a list of things I'd like. He sends it back to me. We can talk a little bit. And the discussion is not who's going to come out at first. It's who's going to make this work best for the college between the two of us. And, you know, so the 30 years I've been here, fortunately, we've always been that way. And I'm not normally here on Tuesday because my kids are working on black belt. I'm normally at the dojo. But I have the luxury of being able to do that, which most of the presidents do not because of this body. The fact that I had the openness that I can come to anybody, a vice president. You know, one of the middle states people asked me how long it takes me to get on the president's calendar if I have an issue. And I said, calendar. I take out my cell phone and I call him. And her reply was, he answers. Yeah, he answers. And I hope we never lose that. I don't expect we will. So thank you very much.
Thank you.
Hi, my name is Evan Figueroa. I am the president of the support staff. I would like to thank the board of trustees for your support. I would also like to thank our wonderful president, Mr. Rose, for his open door policy. He's definitely a great man because he allows us to just approach him and ask him questions. I love the fact that I can sit and have conversations with him where in some instance, he kind of gives me a lot of context and a lot of knowledge on things that I want to know. So again, thank you, Dr. Rose, and the board of trustees.
Thank you.
And we thank all of you for your spirit of cooperation and just, you know, getting this done 6 months in advance is a two-way street. And that's, so it's appreciated on both ends.
Absolutely. So, okay, are there any remarks from the trustees?
Yeah, I'd like to make a very brief remark about, on second, the comments that Dr. Rose made about Harvey Nutter. Because of my career over the years with Passaic County, I had an opportunity to see what Harvey did for the community college, and I wanted to second many of the remarks that Dr. Rose made, because I think that Harvey, we all owe him a great group of thanks for what he's did for the college over the past, I guess, almost 30 years. That's it.
Anyone else? Okay, hearing no one else, may I have a motion to adjourn the meeting?
Trustee Drakeford,
Yes.
trustee Glovin,
Yes.
trustee Diodene,
Yes.
trustee Poe, trustee Smith,
Yes.
trustee Sumter,
Yes.
vice chair Tanis,
Yes.
chairman Marco.
Yes. Okay, thank you. It's at 7:10.
And it's a balmy 16 degrees out.
Take care, all.
Thank you for that.
Good night, everyone. Good night.
Nice, Steve. Okay, I will.